Welcome to Soroptimist 101. I'm Suzanne Herron, Governor of the Western Canada region.
And I'm Governor-elect Shari Grant. Tonight, we are simply Suzanne and Shari.
And we're going to do a massive but fast brain dump of all you need to know to hit the ground running as a Soroptimist member. And so let's just dive right into who we are and what we do. Take it away, Shari.
Thanks, Suzanne. So who are we and what do we do? Well, what we do, the focus is on our clubs to help women and girls take control of their lives and live their dreams by providing access to education. Big picture, we seek a gender equal world. Why is that, Suzanne?
Well, many of you know or will discover that this is my passion. So many, if not all of us, have personal experience with gender bias or worse. On a broader scale, to quote past International President Sharon Fisher, gender equality represents the margin of success in economic growth, health, every issue facing us today. Hence our mission statement, to provide women and girls with the access to education and training they need to achieve economic empowerment. And my addition is to enter into decision-making positions everywhere. So one way to gender equality is the access to education that we provide to individuals, because it is the single greatest boost to socioeconomic status. The other way is to reduce the systemic barriers to education, like violence, sex trafficking, and our newest region initiative, period poverty. So we do this through programs and advocacy. And the work we do at a club level also moves up to our international advocacy team at the UN. Now, membership costs money, and that is because membership in Soroptimist has a value. It's the value of participating in a global movement, of the massive federation and global resources to help us with our mission, all the administration necessary to keep a 30,000 plus member organization organized, including insurance for our events and directors. It's the value of making global friends, and especially for young women and women in business, leadership development, and networking opportunities. So, Shari, would you take us to the top of the Soroptimist world?
Sure, Suzanne. So let's just move on here to our next slide. Soroptimist International, or SI, consists of 5 federations with the primary function of global advocacy and communications. The international president serves for 2 years. The international staff is in Cambridge, England. Each federation has voting delegates to SI. For Soroptimist International of the Americas, we appoint 2 Soroptimists to serve and act as delegates under the direction of the SIA Board of Directors. An international convention is held once every 4 years on a rotation basis of the federations. The next one is in 2023 in Dublin, and Governor Suzanne and I are both going to be there, and we're super excited. And you can find out more information at soroptimistinternational.org. So the 5 federations are, the newest one is SI of Africa, which has about 2,000 members and in about 100 clubs. SI of Southeast Asia Pacific, that's a new name for a federation, but a federation that's been around for a while, has 12 countries, including Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, Mongolia, etc. SIGB, or SI of Great Britain and Ireland, has about 6,000 members in 18 countries, including Great Britain, Ireland, and some countries of Asia, the Caribbean, and lots of other places. SIE, or SI of Europe, has 30,000 members, with clubs in Europe, the Middle East, and the Caribbean. And today, we have a special guest with us, the president of our own federation, Stephanie Smith of SI Oak Harbor in Washington. And Stephanie, we would love it if you could please introduce us to our federation.
I would love to do that, Shari, and thank you and Suzanne for asking me to be a part of this. So SIA, or Soroptimist International of the Americas, we have approximately 30,000 members, and we're in 19 countries, which includes all of North America, Latin America, Japan, Taiwan, South Korea, and the Philippines. And while English is the official language, we do provide translation for 6 languages. Our specific program focus is on education, and we are celebrating 50 years of the Live Your Dream Award, and we are closing in on 10 years with the Dream It Be It program. Now, within our federation, we have regions. And so the regions within SIA, we have 13 in the United States, 5 in Japan, 2 in Canada, 2 in South America, and 2 in the Philippines. And we have 1 each in Korea, and that's South Korea, Taiwan, and Mexico, Central America. What you'll notice real quickly on the slide, it had 15 in the United States, but we just combined a couple of regions to make that 13. So that's a little bit about SIA and the regions.
Thank you, Stephanie, for joining us today. This is so cool. And so we've gone from the international to the federations and now to the region. Oh, and you know what? Just before I do that, I'll mention one thing. You know, you're saying SIGBY, 18 countries, all these different places, not just Great Britain. So that's because when a new club is chartered, they usually have a sort of a godmother club that helps them to charter. And they belong to the same federation as their godmother club. So the federations have interesting boundaries. So here we are within our region, Western Canada. We have an awesome team. You see them on screen there from a whole bunch of different clubs. There's your region board. And I encourage anybody to serve on the board when you make a chance, not just get a chance, but make a chance. We also have, as a region, pillar chairs for the 4 pillars within Soroptimist. And so we have membership, public awareness, fundraising, and programs. And for the first time, we actually have teams instead of just a single person, because there's a whole lot to do. So Donna Duval is the membership chair, and she's got a group of people helping her. Fiza Jaffer is our public awareness chair, and she's got a bunch of people working on social media, the website, newsletter, etc. So, and within programs, Melanie and Colleen are co-chairs, and they've got Anita doing Dream It Be It, and Sharon doing Live Your Dreams. Yannicka is our new advocacy chair, and she is joined by Carol Wingrave. And also we created a friendship chair to bring the wider world of Soroptimist into our region. And so Darlene is doing an admirable job of that. So that's our region. And before we get to our programs, Shari, would you please tell us about the other 100% Canadian Soroptimist organization?
Sure, Suzanne. So the other 100% Canadian organization is the Soroptimist Foundation of Canada. So the Soroptimist Foundation is separate from the Canadian clubs and the regions, and it's a registered Canadian nonprofit that has over $2 million in assets. Each year, it offers several $8,500 grants to women graduate students to assist them with the university studies, which will qualify them for careers which will improve the quality of women's lives. This the Soroptimist Foundation offers club grants of up to $1,000 to Canadian Soroptimist clubs holding education programs for women and girls. Last year, it dispersed $79,000. So that's pretty cool. And it's pretty easy to donate to the Soroptimist Foundation of Canada. And if you do, you'll get a lovely pin for a minimum of a $500 donation. So you might want to consider that. And you get a tax receipt too. So Suzanne, I know you love the global aspect of Soroptimist. Can you tell us what programs and projects happen at an international level?
Absolutely. So there are two major tasks of Soroptimist International. The first is global advocacy at the UN through what is called general consultative status. And we are one of only about 500 organizations in the world to have general consultative status. And that means we can stick our noses into anything, which of course makes sense because gender equality cuts across all of the UN's Sustainable Development Goals. So we have volunteers at all 6 major UN offices in the world. The other thing that Soroptimist International does is the President's Appeal. So each Soroptimist International president determines a project, and December 10th is the traditional day that every single club in the world donates to it. So past President Sharon Fisher of the Langley's Appeal, The Road to Equality, raised awareness of human rights challenges that prevent women and girls from reaching their full potential. And the current president, Maureen Maguire from SIGBY, her appeal is opening doors to a brighter future, and that will deliver real tangible benefits to some of the world's most marginalized women and girls and their communities with a project in every federation. And again, every SI club in the world contributes. I think it's totally cool. So next we go to federation level programs. Shari, what about those?
Thanks, Suzanne. So we have 2 main federation level programs. The first one is the Live Your Dream Awards. These are given to women with the primary financial responsibility for their families to obtain the education necessary to improve their employment status and standard of living for themselves and their families. This is not a scholarship. A woman can put it to whatever use she wants. This brings long-term permanent change. Every year, about $2.8 million is awarded to 1,800 women. Over 33,000 separate winners since 1972. 86% of recipients completed their education and improved their standard of living. So that's a pretty cool thing. It's a pretty cool thing that we're part of that. And of course, we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Live Your Dream program this year. So next, we have our Dream It, Be It, career support for girls. So this program launched in July of 2014, and it targets girls in secondary school who face obstacles to their future success. In small groups or a conference setting, they get fired up about taking charge of their own futures. The topics covered include career opportunities, setting and achieving goals, overcoming obstacles to success, and how to move forward after setbacks or failures. 73,000 girls since 2015 have received access to professional role models, mentors, and career education. 90% feel more confident about their success. 87% feel more prepared to pursue their career goals. And 89% created achievable goals for their future. Love it. Love these programs.
Yes.
Yeah. So the next thing that we want to talk about on the federation level is the SIA big goal. So our big goal is to invest in the dreams of 500,000 women and girls between 2021 and 2031. So what's our part in this goal? Like, that's a big number, 500,000 girls. Well, in Western Canada region, we're about 1% of the SIA membership. So for us, that equals about 5,000 women and girls over the next 10 years, or about 500 per year. So when you break it down into those little chunks, it sounds a lot more doable. Don't you think, Governor Suzanne?
Absolutely.
So finally, we want to take a look at SIA's Dream Big campaign. In order to be able to provide these great programs, Soroptimist International the Americas is going to need about $15 million over the next 2 years to fund our programs. This is going to give us expansion, capacity to build, like, for example, technology. If all 300 members in our region were to set aside the price of a cup of coffee each day, we would, as a region, contribute our goal of $300,000. So again, it makes it a lot more doable and tangible if you put it in those numbers. So if anyone has connections to companies in the US, we want to know about them because they can get a tax credit for donations. So keep that in mind. So Suzanne, what about programs that are particular to the Western Canada region?
I am so proud of our region for the programs that we do. And I actually don't know if other regions have their own programs. So of course, there's the region level Live Your Dream Awards. Club winners are put forward to the region level, and judges give 2 awards for additional awards. I think they're about $5,000 awards. And if we as a region do 61 Live Your Dream Awards, then we will get 3 coming out of headquarters at SIA. So I'm really stoked about that. The next program that we do, you'll hear Gen, or Gender Equality Now. And this got started when Lourdes Rodriguez de Hall from North and West Vancouver and I ran into Emilia Reyes, who is an amazing Mexican feminist who was speaking at one of the SIA conventions. And Lourdes ended up inviting her to Vancouver. And she said, okay, so now we had to figure out something to do. So Gen has evolved into a series of one-day symposia or conferences. We hold them about every 18 months. And it's actually time to get going on Gen 5. And the themes have included kind of making the link between local and international work in gender equality, making a difference at the municipal level, personal actions I can take for gender equality, and some of the policies that are needed for gender equality. And the 5th one, who knows? The other thing that we launched as a region during COVID is the virtual career library. And this is kind of my baby, and I'm absolutely rabid about it. So when COVID happened and it was very difficult to do Dream It Be It, we said, well, we can just put it online. So the virtual career library is a website that features women in all careers with a video interview, her biography, some photos, and the ability for girls to pose questions and get answers from these mentors. So it's an extension of the Dream It Be It program, and it is going to be able to reach schools throughout our region and so many girls. And the schools I know just love it. So that's a really cool one. Another one that actually started again in the SI North and West Vancouver is the PASIPA project. So Yannicka Lewis is one of our members. She and the club launched the petitions that ultimately in 2014 led to the passing in Canada of the Protection of Communities and Exploited Persons Act. And that brings what's called the Nordic model, of dealing with prostitution to Canada. Janneke discovered that the Vancouver police are, it's questionable whether they are or to what extent they are applying PACIPA. And so our PACIPA project is using the Freedom of Information Act to discover, to ascertain police services application of the law across Canada, and also to advocate for its full implementation, including services to assist prostituted women in leaving sexual exploitation. And our newest region project is No Barriers, Period. And this is a program to address period poverty for girls in school using funds provided by the Masons of BC and the Yukon. Rita McKenzie of SI Abbotsford Mission did a whole bunch of presentations to Masons clubs throughout BC. And she was expecting a bit of a ew response from them when she talked about period poverty. But instead, she got, this is terrible. We should do something. So we've got an awesome pot of money to create what is a Dream Accelerator program for clubs to address period poverty in their communities. And it was launched at Gen 4 on February 5th. And I think, what's next? I guess the club level programs are next. So Shari, take us through those.
Thanks, Suzanne. So we've already talked about Live Your Dream and Dream It Be It. But of course, we do these programs at the club level. And in our region, 100% of clubs participate in Love Your Dream. And that makes us super, super excited. We would really love to see clubs be able to give one more Live Your Dream award if they could. If they're giving 2 now, they could give 3. If they're giving 3, give 4. Just try to boost that number of Live Your Dream awards. And that will really help our region in achieving our big goal. The other thing is Dream It Be It. Our goal is 100% participation in that right now because we're not quite there yet. Governor Suzanne and I were really happy to hear that SI Surrey Delta and SI White Rock are actually going to partner on doing a DIBI project for this year. And we would love to see that happen more. If a club doesn't feel like they can put one on themselves, maybe they can partner with another club and help the 2 clubs do it together. So that's really something to think about, to try to get just as many clubs as possible participating in Dream It Be It as well. So we want to move on. Oh, the Dream Accelerator. That's the one thing I forgot to talk about. Dream Accelerator. So with the Dream Accelerator, this is also to try to help us to get to that big goal. And we want to work with only women and girls who are facing obstacles to provide access to education and ultimately lead to economic empowerment. So the programs that count for this are not awareness raising, they're not general social empowerment. The focus needs to be on education. So if you have other clubs or other programs in your club that don't really seem to fit that criteria right now, try to do some creative brainstorming and problem solving and see if there's a way that you could make that program really fit more into that Dream Accelerator, because those programs will help us get to our big goal. So we really, really want to be able to focus on those programs that are either going to be Live Your Dream or DIBI or Dream Accelerator programs that are going to help us get those numbers up. So that's what we wanted to say about that. So Suzanne, now we want to talk a little bit about how we run our clubs, and if you want to jump in there.
Okay, so all the clubs have a board of directors. Sometimes they're called an executive, president, vice president, or president-elect. treasurer, and secretary. Clubs also have 4 pillar chairs within the clubs. We have them for the region. The clubs have somebody in charge of public awareness, somebody in charge of membership, somebody in charge of fundraising, somebody in charge of programs, including Live Your Dream and Dream It Be It. Plus, there will be links for advocacy and friendship. And of course, all these are committees. And committees, the guts of the club, that's where the work of the club happens. So you've got a budget, you set your goals, and the committees generally do the work within those guidelines and report back to the club. And committee chairs work with the region pillar chairs as well. Clubs also appoint delegates to serve at conferences and conventions to vote on behalf of their clubs. And Shari, how do we make our meetings work and keep track of our decisions?
Well, Suzanne, we try to use parliamentary procedure, or Robert's Rules of Order, to manage our meetings. This is a set of rules for the conduct at meetings. It allows everyone to be heard and to make decisions without confusion. Clubs do follow it more or less. Regions and federations follow it more closely in conducting all general business meetings and board of directors meetings. Robert's Rules also ensures that clubs' decisions are recorded as motions, which are written into the motion book and/or the meeting minutes as a permanent record to avoid confusion. A quorum is necessary for decisions made within the club that require a vote. So you can find a lot of resources on the SIA website. And your own club bylaws probably have information as well as to, for example, what makes a quorum within your own club. So you'll want to take a look at those as well. Suzanne, what protocol tips do you have for members?
Well, some members adopt a Soroptimist email address for all your Soroptimist business, because you'll actually find your email might get taken over just a wee bit. And it can be funneled to your regular email account, and you can answer your email messages from your Soroptimist one, through your regular email. Of course, when you're writing your Soroptimist emails, as in person, be professional. Let your humanity, let you shine through. And of course, spell check for errors, capitalize your sentences, use the appropriate grammar. And if you have mistakenly offended or misinterpreted what somebody else wrote, don't hesitate to apologize. Of course, in person, attend regularly, be on time, do business with other Soroptimists on a business basis. Don't expect favors or special treatment because you're both Soroptimists. Pay your own way, unless you're invited to be a speaker or a guest of someone. And by all means, invite other Soroptimists and your friends and relatives and anybody you run into on the street to a business meeting. Just let the president know that you are bringing someone. Welcome visiting Soroptimists. One of the amazing things is the ability to be welcomed when you travel anywhere in the world. You will find a Soroptimist. And when people come here, they love to come to club meetings. So of course, just be polite, keep within the bounds of fellowship and parliamentary procedure. And one thing that came up during COVID is to be careful about bringing into the club anything that's outside the bounds of operating the club. So of course, SIA procedures prohibit club support for any political party or candidate. Some clubs even write a code of conduct that includes how to handle personal causes or businesses that are not related to our mission. But just in general, ask the permission of the president to be on the agenda. And if on the other side, if you're uncomfortable with a discussion, say so respectfully, neutrally, I statements. But if you are uncomfortable with anything that's going on, speak up about it. Have that courageous conversation that takes a bit of guts, and 99% of the time leads to greater understanding, deeper friendships, and general awesomeness as a club. I think, let's see, is there anything else that people need to be mindful of, Shari?
Well, one thing I just wanted to add about emails, Suzanne, is that unless somebody specifically asks for it, do not reply all on your emails. Just reply to the person who sent the email. There are a couple of very few exceptions where somebody has asked, they need a quick response for something where they're going to ask for a reply all, but otherwise do everybody a favor, including yourself, and don't reply all. I was just going to say that. When sending invitations for club fundraisers or awards programs, always courtesy copy the region fundraising and awards chairs, just so that they're aware of those events as well. Invite region board officers and pillar chairs to fundraising events. We love to go. I love to go to anything that I can go to. If I've got the time, if there's space in my schedule, I will be there, happy to attend. Prior to the event, ask the governor or other region guests attending in an official capacity if they would like to speak and allow appropriate time in the program. I am happy either way, happy to just be there as a guest, happy to speak, whatever works for whoever it is. And I'm sure Governor Suzanne is exactly the same. A little bit about correct terminology. We are members, not girls, never girls. We are clubs, not chapters. We are the Western Canada region, not Western Canada. We are a federation, not national or federal. We have a pledge, not a creed or a motto. We attend club meetings, region conference, federation or international conventions. We elect region officers, not regional officers. And we believe in Soroptimist, not Soroptimism. So if you want more information about Soroptimist protocol, we have a lot of stuff on the SIA website under the heading of Soroptimist protocol, so you can find that out. So the other thing that we wanted to talk a little bit about was Soroptimist jargon. We have a lot of terms that we use in Soroptimist, and maybe you'd like to go through some of those with everybody, Suzanne.
So as Shari just mentioned, convention and conference. The convention is, there are two conventions. The biennial meeting of our federation, Soroptimist International of the Americas, is usually held in July in even-numbered years. And the next one will be in 2024 in Bellingham, Washington. How handy, we can have a road trip. The quadrennial meeting of Soroptimist International, the global body, is usually held in July of an odd-numbered year. And I think, as Shari mentioned at the beginning, the next one is going to be in Dublin next year. How great is that? Conferences. So the region holds an annual conference in the spring to conduct the business of our region, and it provides some opportunities for leadership and personal development of members. Club giving is something you'll hear about. Clubs have a long history of helping to fund federation programs and reach beyond their own community. And the Western Canada region goal is for all clubs to contribute 10% of your funds raised to club giving. And as I said before, it goes out and it comes back. Founders' pennies. This is quaint. This is an annual contribution to Soroptimist International of the Americas. And get this, it's based on 6 cents per member times the number of years since the founding of Soroptimist in 1921. What else have we got, Shari?
Well, friendship links. So clubs develop a relationship with a club in a different federation to share ideas, projects, and correspondence. And if you want more information about that, you can speak to our region friendship chair, Darlene Jameson, and she would be happy to tell you more information. Induction is a ceremony that formally brings a person into membership in Soroptimist, whereas an installation is the ceremony that formally places newly elected members into office. The Laurel Society is a recognition program for individuals who have donated $1,000 or more to support SIA programs. And you can find out more information about that on the SIA website as well. Retreat is the fall meeting of the region centered around leadership development and club best practices. And the governor-elect, which is me right now, is responsible for organizing the fall retreat. The next one in our region is coming up on October 1st and 2nd, and we will be happy to see as many people there as possible. You can get more information from your club president, and hopefully we'll see you there.
So our Soroptimist pins are worn on your left side over the heart. Usually I put mine a little higher so it would be visible, and wear them to all the club meetings, Soroptimist events, wear them everywhere, because people will say, what's that little S? Celebrating Success Awards recognize outstanding club projects in all 4 pillars. Clubs make their applications every year before July 1st and submitted to the Region Soroptimist Celebrating Success Chair, in our case, Megan Eastwood. They also go up to the federation level as well. And we've had some winners in that within the federation. Soroptimist Club grants for women and girls are funds given from SIA headquarters to Soroptimist clubs to start or continue projects in their communities that improve the lives of women and girls, along with our mission of education. And the deadline to apply for that is March 1st. So again, money goes out to headquarters, it comes back to us. You'll often hear about the Violet Richardson Award, and this is what some clubs still do. Violet Richardson was, and I think it's awesome that clubs do this. Violet Richardson was the very first charter president of the organization when it chartered on October 3rd in 1921 in Oakland, California. And so many clubs give this award to young women for service in their community. So in a nutshell, that's what you need to know to jump into your club projects and committees. And there will be a handout for this that on the region website under resources, and it will be on our Google Drive as well.
And we encourage you to follow the links to find out more about the amazing opportunities at all levels of Soroptimists to empower women and girls and make friends in a global community of like-minded women.
And just before we leave, we're going to jump back from the details of our workings to the why. And there is nobody better than President Stephanie to get us all thinking about our own reasons for joining and furthering the work of empowering women and girls. Stephanie?
I was asked to share my Soroptimist why at this past March's International Women's Day tea. And the theme for the International Women's Day was Break the Bias. Now, I went out to the International Women's Day website and they shared, imagine a gender equal world, a world free of bias, stereotypes, and discrimination, a world that's diverse, equitable, and inclusive, a world where difference is valued and celebrated. Together, we can forge women's equality. Collectively, we can all break the bias. Now, the first time I read that, I immediately thought of our big goal of investing in the dreams of 500,000 women and girls, dreams that include education and gender equality, dreams that can be achieved if we work together, every one of us, every day. Soroptimist members come from different countries, cultures, languages, economic and professional backgrounds, as well as professions. We're mothers, daughters, sisters, grandmothers, and aunts. Our differences and experiences make us stronger and bring us together in service of our mission and the big goal. We know that being a Soroptimist, and especially a leader in Soroptimists, requires our time, talents, energy, and at times financial support, along with a desire to see women and girls achieve their dreams through access to education. While we put our collective efforts together to support the mission, we have many different reasons as to why we made the initial choice to become a Soroptimist and why we choose to remain a Soroptimist. So I ask you to reflect on what is your why. Every member's why is personal, real, and valid. I became involved in Soroptimist over 35 years ago, which I know is shocking because I look so young. And I've shared my story many times. My local Soroptimist club chartered a venture club, which at the time was a service project of Soroptimists and intended for young women who were not eligible to be a Soroptimist. So for our newer members, there used to be eligibility requirements for membership. So we've come a long way to being more inclusive. I joined because I was new to the community and I wanted to connect with other young women. I had no idea what the mission was or what type of service projects Soroptimist and Venture were involved in. I joined for me to broaden my network and make connections in the community. Now, why I've remained a member has absolutely nothing to do with why I first joined. And some of you may have experienced the same thing. My why is that I passionately believe that empowered women empower women. And I can do this every single day in all aspects of my life by being of service to others. This is how my parents raised me, my sister, and my brother. I believe that every person, and especially Soroptimist members, can empower and lift others up. And this includes lifting up your fellow Soroptimists. We work closely together on many projects for our clubs, our regions, and our local and global communities. We lift each other up by treating each other with kindness and grace. I have been blessed to experience all of this from not only my family, but from my Soroptimist family as well. When I was a brand new Soroptimist, I was embraced and mentored, and this helped me be a better mother, daughter, sister, friend, and even employee. As a more seasoned, which is a nice word for getting older, Soroptimist, my Soroptimist family was by my side as I began my journey with breast cancer last year. From the day I was diagnosed, to picking out some fun wigs, to sitting with me during chemo, sending me our yellow rose of friendship, and so much more. Their grace, kindness, and humor provided a constant light in my life through it all. You know, part of my why is that I believe in paying it forward. I continue to strive to be the best Soroptimist I can be, one who empowers other women and leads with grace and kindness. The other part of my why is for our Live Your Dream Award winners, like Lisa Renee, a victim of domestic violence who had to move across the country to escape her abuser, who had to move into a safe house because he tracked her down after her move, who had the spirit to keep moving forward and look to education to help better her circumstances, who greatly appreciated receiving my club's Live Your Dream Award and shared that what meant the world to her is our belief and faith in her ability to succeed. My why is also for all the Dream It Be It girls who participate in our programs, for the girls who shared that we created an inclusive and judgment-free environment where they felt safe to share their stories of being bullied for having less than others, being bullied for having two moms, being bullied because of their life circumstances, and so on. You know, working side by side with Jasmine and listening to her, teaching her about SMART goals, financial aid, budgeting, and then being asked if I could write a letter of recommendation for her college application. Wow. My why is I am so proud of the work we have done and the impact that we have made on the lives of women and girls for the last 100 years and what we're going to be doing for the next 100 years. So let me finish with the following quote and question. If there was ever a time to dare to make a difference, to embark on something worth doing, it is now. Not for any grand cause necessarily, but for something that tugs at your heart, something that is your aspiration, something that is your dream. You owe it to yourself to make your days here count. So have fun, dig deep, stretch, and dream big. Perhaps instead of why Soroptimist, the better question is why not Soroptimist? Thank you.
Thanks so much, Stephanie. And thank you all for sharing your time and attention with us. And if you have any questions or comments, we'd love to hear them.
And Suzanne and I have provided our email addresses there, and you're more than welcome to email us and ask us any questions that you have.
I hope to see you at a club or region event very soon. Take care.